Funny, isn't it? How the same people who wanted to see you fall are now the ones hoping you let them walk away untouched. How the same voices that mocked you, that laughed at you, that called you nothing, are now whispering prayers that you don't come for them. They thought you were weak. They thought you were just another nameless face, another shadow that would fade into the background. They never saw the fire inside you. They never saw what you were becoming, but you knew. Deep down, you always knew. You knew you weren't like them. You knew you weren't built for a quiet life, for mediocrity, for playing by their rules. You knew that the world wasn't fair, that it wasn't kind, that it didn't reward the ones who waited patiently. No, the world belongs to those who take it. The ones who refuse to bow, the ones who stand back up, no matter how many times they get knocked down. And you were never going to stay down, were you? They wanted you to fail. They wanted you to give up. They wanted you to believe their lies, to accept their version of the story where you were just another failure, another lost cause. But instead you did something they never expected. You kept going. Every time they knocked you down, you got back up. Every time they closed a door in your face, you found another way through. And now, here you are, standing tall, stronger than ever. And them, they are the ones looking over their shoulders, because now they know. Now they see it. They see that you were never the weak one. That all this time you were simply biding your time, sharpening your blade. They prayed for your downfall, begged the universe to break you, to erase you, to bury you so deep that no one would ever hear your name again. But the universe had other plans. Because it turns out you are not someone who fades away. You are someone who rises from the ashes, someone who turns pain into power. You see, they thought they were in control. They thought they had power over you. But what they never realized is that every betrayal, every insult, every moment they tried to push you down only made you hungrier. They gave you the greatest gift they could have ever given you. They gave you a reason to fight, a reason to prove them wrong, a reason to become something so much greater than they ever imagined. And now they are the ones who are afraid. Now they are the ones who are hoping that you don't remember, that you don't hold on to the past, that you don't come looking for them. Because they see what you have become. They see that the power has shifted. And the funny thing is, they don't know what to do. People love to kick you when you're down. They love to stand over you looking smug, thinking they've won. But they don't realize that some people like you don't break. Some people like you don't stay down. Some people take every bit of pain, every bit of cruelty, every moment of suffering, and forge it into something unbreakable. And when they rise, oh, when they rise, the whole world has no choice but to take notice. They laughed at you once, they dismissed you. But now they stay quiet when you walk into the room. Now they lower their eyes because they know they made a mistake. They know they should have been smarter. They should have never doubted you, never pushed you, never underestimated you. Because now they pray, not for their own success, not for their own future. No, they pray for something far more desperate. They pray that you show mercy. They pray that you don't remember the things they did, the things they said, the way they tried to keep you small. They pray that you have become the better person. But here's the thing, what kind of person you have become is entirely up to you. You hold all the cards now, you hold the power. They may pray, they may beg, they may whisper their apologies into the night, but you owe them nothing. You owe nothing to the ones who tried to break you. You owe nothing to the ones who never believed in you. You don't have to be kind. You don't have to be forgiving. You don't have to pretend that what they did was okay, because it wasn't. And they know it. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? You get to decide. You get to choose what happens next. Will you let them walk away? Will you remind them of who they really are? Or will you simply move forward, leaving them to rot in the regret they created for themselves? No matter what you do, one thing is certain: they will never forget you. They will never forget the mistake they made. And they will never stop praying that you don't make them pay for it. And isn't it amusing? The very people who wanted you buried are now trembling at the thought of you standing tall. They can feel it. The shift. The air is different now. The ground beneath them feels unstable, as if the weight of their own choices is dragging them down. And you're no longer the one crawling. You're the one towering above, while they stumble in the shadows they created. But here's the thing about power. It's not something you beg for. It's not something handed to you. No, real power is earned. It's forged in the fires of betrayal and hardship. It's built brick by brick, from every scar, every tear, every moment they laughed while you suffered. And now that power is yours. They prayed for your downfall. They spoke your name with venom, thinking their words would be enough to break you. But what they didn't realize was that you were listening. You heard every single word, and you didn't forget. No, you etched those words into your mind. You let them simmer, let them fuel you. While they celebrated your losses, you were preparing your victory. Every time they whispered behind your back, they unknowingly gave you another reason to stand up. Every time they smiled at your failures, they laid the foundation for your inevitable rise. And now they see it. Now they know. The funny thing is, they always thought they were in control. They believed their opinions defined you. They thought their laughter was the final nail in your coffin. But all it did was spark something they couldn't contain. They pushed and pushed, thinking you'd crumble. Instead, you grew, stronger, smarter, untouchable. But look at them now. The ones who once stood so tall are now so small. Their confidence has rotted away. The arrogance that once dripped from their words has turned to silence. They don't speak your name so freely anymore. No, now they speak it in hushed tones, afraid of what you've become. And they should be afraid, because they know what they did. They remember the smirks, the rumors, the knives they twisted into your back. And now, with every step you take, they feel that regret gnawing at them. It festers, it consumes. They used to pray that you would fail, but now they pray that you don't remember. They pray that the version of you they once crushed no longer exists. But they're wrong. That version of you didn't die. It transformed, it evolved. You didn't become less. You became more. You learned how to walk through the storm, how to stand in the fire without flinching. You became the storm itself. And now they see the clouds gathering. They see the lightning flash in your eyes. They know that the storm they tried to destroy is now theirs to endure. And the best part, they know they deserve it. Every sleepless night, every anxious glance over their shoulder, every moment spent fearing your rise, they earned it. Because they were the architects of their own regret. They taught you pain, thinking it would keep you down. Instead, it set you free. But freedom is a dangerous thing, isn't it? It terrifies people like them, people who built their confidence on your suffering. They needed you to stay small because it made them feel big. But now that you stand tall, they're left trembling. They can't control you. They can't contain you. And that realization, that's what haunts them. They try to convince themselves that you'll be the bigger person, that you'll take the moral high ground. But deep down they know the truth. You don't owe them your kindness. You don't owe them your forgiveness. They may beg, they may plead, they may paint themselves as the victim now, but you see through it. You always have, because they didn't just hurt you. They built an entire world where you were supposed to fail. And when that world collapsed, they were the first ones to run. Now they stand in the rubble, hoping that you'll extend a hand to pull them from the wreckage. But why would you save the ones who cheered as you burned? The beauty of it all is that the choice is yours. They have no say. They can't predict what you'll do. And that uncertainty is what eats at them the most. They watch your every move, terrified of what comes next. They pray that you'll forget. They pray that time has softened the edges of your memory. But you remember everything. Every insult, every laugh, every time they celebrated your misery. It's all still there, carved into your soul. A reminder of who they are. A reminder of who you've become. And no matter how desperately they wish to rewrite the past, they can't. The past is written. The pain they inflicted is permanent. And so is your strength. They wanted you to lose yourself in the darkness, but what they didn't understand was that you are the darkness. You are the very force they tried to destroy. And now they stand in its presence powerless. Let them pray. Let them beg. Let them plead for mercy. It won't change a thing, because now the power is yours. And whether you choose to spare them or let them drown in their regret, it will never undo what they did. They taught you pain, but now they'll learn something far worse. They'll learn what it means to live in the shadow of the one they tried to destroy. And now we've reached the final act, the grand finale. This is the part where they stand before you, stripped of the smug smiles and the venomous words. No longer the puppeteers, no longer the ones pulling the strings. Now they're just trembling figures, desperate for mercy. But here's the twist. Mercy was never theirs to ask for. Because mercy, that's a gift you give to the undeserving. And what have they ever done to deserve it? They didn't hesitate when it was your back against the wall. They didn't pause when the words they spoke sliced through your spirit. No second thoughts, no regrets, just laughter, just satisfaction, just the gleeful belief that you would stay beneath their feet. They loved the sight of you on the ground, but the ground couldn't hold you forever. Now the tables have turned. Look at them, eyes wide, voices trembling. They stand there, clinging to the hope that you've forgotten, that the fire they lit in you has burned out. But it never did. It smoldered. It grew. Every insult, every betrayal, every moment they reveled in your suffering was just fuel. They didn't break you. They built you. And now they stare into the eyes of the very force they tried to destroy. But the real power, it's not in your hands, it's in your restraint. Because nothing terrifies them more than the unknown. They don't know what you'll do next. They don't know if today is the day their regrets come crashing down. That's the beauty of it. The fear they once planted in you has rooted itself in them. Every glance over their shoulder, every anxious whisper, every restless night, they earned it. They prayed for your downfall. They cheered when you stumbled. But now they pray for something else. They pray that the monster they created doesn't devour them whole. And you are no monster. No, you are something far more dangerous. You are the consequence. The living, breathing result of their own cruelty. And there is no escaping that. But let's make one thing clear. This isn't about revenge. No, revenge is too simple, too fleeting. What you've built is something far greater. You didn't just rise to prove them wrong. You rose because it was the only choice. Because when the world tried to bury you, you clawed your way back to the surface. And now you stand at the top. Not because they fell, but because you refused to stay down. And that's what they will never understand. They thought winning meant crushing you beneath their heel. They thought power was about making others feel small. But real power is standing tall, knowing you no longer need their approval, knowing their opinions are nothing but whispers in the wind. That's the difference between you and them. They cling to the past, to their petty victories, to the belief that they were ever in control. But you've moved on. You carry no chains, no regrets. The weight of their hatred couldn't hold you, and now it's their own burden to bear. And don't you see the irony? The same people who once called you weak, now marvel at your strength. The same ones who doubted your worth, now tremble at the thought of losing what little they have left. They wanted you powerless, but now they can't stop watching. They can't stop wondering what comes next. And that's what haunts them. Not just the fear of retribution, but the knowledge that no matter how much they beg, no matter how much they pray, they will never undo what they did. They will never erase the memory of the day they tried to break you. That day is etched into their minds, just as it's etched into yours. But the difference is, you wear it as a mark of triumph. They wear it as a mark of shame. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. Maybe the greatest punishment is knowing that while you rise, they remain shackled to the wreckage of their own choices. While you walk freely, they remain trapped in the prison of their own regret. But make no mistake, this power you hold now, it's yours, you earned it, and it's yours to wield however you see fit. Will you leave them behind, let them rot in the shadows they cast, or will you show them just how small they've become? The choice is yours. But no matter what you decide, one thing will remain true. They prayed for your downfall, and now they'll spend the rest of their days praying you spare them. And that is the power they will never understand.